God bless you, WME family. Welcome back. I am joined here today with Pastor Raymond Delgado, and we are talking to Pastor about the Beatitudes.
The Beatitudes. What the Lord impressed upon my heart to bring here is, blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. As I see this ministry, I see the Lord's blessings upon it. I see the Lord's blessing even in perseverance, even in enduring financial difficulties, where there is such a blessing upon it. And it's because this is a ministry of mercy.
Thank you, Pastor. And you know, Pastor, that reminds me, not too long ago, somebody was telling me about we're helping Ukrainian refugees. And I told them, for us, it's not about the politics, it's about the people.
Amen.
We're not concerned with the politics. For us, it's not a political matter, it's a people matter.
Amen.
We're worried about the people that are hurting. And yes, Pastor, thank you. That's been at our heart is mercy.
Yeah.
And God
when we
showed
think
that
of
to the
mercy, we think of withholding judgment. That's one definition, is not giving someone what they deserve. But in a greater sense, in the Greek, it speaks more of having pity, of being compassionate, of being sympathetic to people in need. You know, and I think that as we receive that word to be merciful, it's to be compassionate. Now, there's a difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is feeling bad for people. Anyone could do that. Empathy is feeling bad, but doing something about it. You know, and I think that that's where this ministry is so important.
So, Pastor, that would have to do with the response.
It is.
Because you can feel bad for somebody and continue to walk. I mean, we saw that in the Good Samaritan. They saw his hurt, they saw his pain, but they continued to go about their way.
Amen.
But one was moved with compassion, and he acted on that compassion. So mercy would be the act of you act on that compassion, correct, Pastor?
Yeah, and often we'll say, I'll pray for them. You know, we'll keep them in prayer. And certainly we covet prayers. We ask people to pray.
And Pastor, I wonder how that has become a lingo in the Christian society. We'll pray for you. We'll keep it in prayer.
Yeah.
How many times have we created these lingos in the church?
Yeah. And so James chapter 2, verse 15 and 16 says that if we see a brother or sister in need, without clothing and without any food, and if we simply say to them, the scripture says, go in peace, keep warm, well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is that? And so, of course, we are people of faith, but faith without actions, without works, is dead. And that's where we are called to be merciful, to consider those that no one else is considering, to do something for those that no one else is doing anything for. And it can be in the simplest way. If we can't be missionaries, the least we could do is fund the missionaries. But for some of us, the Lord is calling us to do more.
Yes.
And that there's a blessing in that. There is a blessing in being there for other people. And we just don't see it. Then that's where the Beatitude comes in. There is a blessing for being compassionate. There's a blessing for being merciful.
And as we look at this scripture in Matthew chapter 5, Pastor, this is the red letter part of the scripture. This is Jesus talking to his disciples, talking to those who are following him. Blessed are the merciful.
Amen. And it's a life of sacrifice. What I try to get the church to understand is that being merciful isn't doing compassionate things, but it's being a compassionate person. It's having a compassionate heart. The world can have great humanitarian efforts, but their hearts are not good. We as a church, we do good things because it comes from a good heart. And that's where we need to be challenged, to go beyond just praying and doing. We are blessed, not so that we can hoard these blessings, but that we can allow these blessings to flow through us. God has given to us. He has been generous to us, but it's now time for us to be generous to others as well.
And that helps the flow continue. That helps the work of God to continue to progress and to move. And I love the way that scripture states it. It says the merciful. So that's a state of being. That's a lifestyle.
It is. And the scripture, there's a scripture in Proverbs that says, a generous soul will prosper, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Sometimes we think, I can't afford to give. I can't afford to be a blessing. Not understanding that a closed fist will not hold money. It is when we release it that we are able to have it poured right back into us. And even if it isn't in the area of finances, God's blessings don't have price tags. They have no monetary value to the people of the world. But you can't buy love. You can't buy mercy. You can't buy grace or peace or comfort. These are blessings that come directly to us from the Lord.
And Pastor, I know you've been in the mission field. I know you guys there at House of Healing have been out and done missionary work. And when you see the smile in that child, when you see that grateful pastor, when you see that congregation that's being blessed by your presence, by your assistance, maybe it's feeding the kids, it's giving them a special program, it's sharing a word, that's priceless.
Yeah, it is. Often you'll hear people say, well, I don't have time to go outside of the church. All my service is inside of the church. What I found, Pastor, is that you find more gratitude. You find more gratefulness when you go outside of the walls because no one else is going. It's easy to go to church and minister to Christians, but the Great Commission is where the church becomes mobile, where it has hands and feet. We're not supposed to have a foundation where we're a permanent structure. The people are the church. And we have hands and feet for a reason.
That's right. Buildings can be outgrown, can be outdated, but the church is the people. It's built on the people.
Amen.
And I love that, Pastor. Blessed are the merciful. And we're going to come back. Don't you go anywhere, because we have Pastor Raymond Delgado here in studio. We're going to look at this scripture, and we're going to share an exciting word from God to your life. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with part 3 on the Beatitudes. So don't you go anywhere. We got a very important announcement on how you can help us win the world for Jesus Christ, on how you can help us go to other countries and help fulfill the Great Commission that says, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. So don't go anywhere. We got a very important announcement, and we will be right back with Pastor Raymond Delgado from House of Healing Church in Dallas, Texas. God bless you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
World Missionary Evangelism, through its wide variety of mission outreach programs, is an evangelical force in developing nations, and it all begins with native missionaries. Called by Christ to do His work, our native missionaries are first and foremost soul winners. Often facing hostile opposition, they have the courage to reach out in compassion to the lost, sharing the good news with those in their communities. But that is just the beginning of WME's evangelistic programs. World Missionary Evangelism reaches children through vacation Bible schools and Christian schools. So even as we feed the hungry bodies of little ones, we also feed their souls. For almost 6 decades, WME has been building churches in both urban and rural areas. Most of these churches are used every day of the week and become beacons of light in the areas where they serve. Churches not only provide worship opportunities, but they also offer a community gathering point, education, childcare, and even serve as feeding centers for the hungry. WME not only sponsors native missionaries, we train them. World Missionary Evangelism has local pastoral education programs for new missionaries and continuing education programs for those who have been in the field for years. WME also has Bible colleges that provide degree programs for those seeking a fuller knowledge of the Bible and Christian outreach. The evangelism in World Missionary Evangelism is not just a part of our name. It defines our mission, our focus, and is at the heart of everything we do.